What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first ever Keepin stream. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us, and we're excited to have you here. It's just a little casual get together. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff in AI, the project Keepin, and we'd love to hear from you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, definitely welcoming all questions. This is like a great opportunity for people to ask questions that they've been wondering about Keepin. We can share, all the updates that are coming up, and we'll be showing some things that we've been working on, and just talking about general, news, general things that we've been doing. But yeah, just kind of keep it casual and see where it goes, and hopefully we're this is our first stream, so for everyone, just give us a little bit of leniency as we're working things out. We're new to this, but we're checking the chat, so you can always write in YouTube in the chat, and ask us any questions, anything at all. It doesn't even have to be, it could be just anything. It doesn't have to be keeping related. It could be AI, it could be tech, it could be just things that are you're wondering. um,
Yeah, and currently the show is really free form, so if there's anything you want us to look at, talk about, react to, join the conversation in, just let us know. You can send us a link to a video, and we'd love to watch it too. I think, one thing that we're going to show you later in the stream today is a little bit about how AI is helping with animal communication, and we hope you really enjoy that one.
yeah, we've got some cool stuff to show, and like Nana said, anything you guys want to see, if you want us to react to a video, if you want people who are watching to see a video, put it in the comments, put it in the live chat, and we'll react to it. And you guys can kind of tell us what you want to see, because we want to provide value for you. We don't want to waste your time. So if there's something that you want to learn about, if there's something you want to talk about, feel free to let us know. But yeah, so I mean, yesterday we went to a pretty good AI meeting. I think that it went pretty well. Got to hear about some cool startups, some related to like images and events, and it was cool to see things in the works and kind of get a little bit of a glimpse of what we might see in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's Mark, who I met at another event, really thought our project was cool, and so he invited us to this one, where he was talking about how I think he was using AI to help people get better photos of themselves at events, which sounded really cool. Like he had a whole system going, a whole plan for reaching out to people, and it was just a really nice. It was just a really nice conversation to have with him. Oh, and they also talked about the researcher. I think her name was Fei Fei Li, and she did foundational work in computer vision. Someone there introduced us to her book, and I went and read through it, and it's really cool. I can't remember the. Let's see, the world's I see. I think that was the name was of the book.
The
Was it?
world I see, yeah.
Yeah, the world's I see. Definitely check it out if you can. Oh yeah, and I think Mia is asking what the stream is about. Okay, so I guess the stream is about. It's pretty free flowing. We're going to talk about our this little project we're working on. It's just like an app that helps you remember where and what and where you put stuff, and but in a little smarter way. Like if you want need to go out somewhere, instead of having to look things up one by one, you can just ask it. It'll pick up everything for you, so you won't forget and stuff.
Yeah.
Can we talk? What?
Can we?
And we have one. It says, "Can we ask any question related to tech too?"
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess we don't know. We're not in every type of tech that there is, but we absolutely love to look at stuff and have conversations about it as well. So feel free to mention anything.
Yeah, if you have anything that you want to share and you're interested in the space, like we're interested and we want to learn. So it's kind of like anything you want to learn about, we'll research it together. Maybe we'll kind of do a live deep dive and kind of discover something that we all didn't know. Because, yeah, like Nana said, we're not in every tech industry. So maybe we're not, we don't know everything about the tech world, but we were definitely interested and curious. So if you guys have something to share, that would be awesome. But yeah,
Absolutely.
and yeah, and we just kind of want to maybe turn it into a little bit of a series, maybe just kind of give our own takes, give kind of, yeah, just all together, kind of just discover and learn about new stuff. So please, yeah, send videos, send updates that are happening. I'm gonna pull up stuff. that we had prepared in a second here, just to see, maybe see what we should start talking about. Maybe just to start, should we go over some recent developments like with the app, kind of just to explain more about what Keepin is and what's been going on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I think, can you pull up the website on your side
Yeah.
and just like, I think maybe, I think the video on the website people will really like to see, and I can kind of explain what it does. It does some pretty simple stuff to begin with, but it also has all these more complex features that I think people will be very interested in using. Yeah, and
And you can see it all right?
yep, I can see it all right. And let's see, and the video that Rishi did, I think, with like where he's going around. Let me tell you about that video. He was at a resort in, I think, in Bali or something. I can't remember where when he was filming that. So he was just having a good time while he was developing this app.
This one, right?
Uh,
Cool.
I can't like. Oh, I see like the top of the page, but I can't see the video yet. Oh, there it is. Yeah, yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah. And okay, so if you can start from the beginning, I can like the very beginning. So, or maybe full screen so people can see the little text at the bottom better.
oh, can you see it? Is it full frame now?
I think so. Is it? I think yeah, it should be good enough. So, so Rishi was at a resort in Oh, I think oh yeah, there we go. So if you look, yeah, just keep playing, and I think the text will show up and keep. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's at the
Okay.
very bottom.
Yep, and so the text at the bottom, I hope you can see it right, it's just the AI itself, the model, when it's thinking, when it sees the person in the video, Rishi's hand. He's going around, he's just picking up random items, and it's identifying what it is as soon as he pays attention to it and picks it up. Uh, and basically it doesn't just detect any item, so you'll have to focus on it and it will detect this item and it will eventually be able to remember where you're putting it for later too.
I
And
think.
I have a question from Newgate Agency, right?
Yep.
Keepin provides what service? Oh,
Well, this is a
it's an
perfect
app
demo,
that,
kinda.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's an app that helps you remember what stuff you're putting somewhere for later. It can be helped with like storage units. It can be helped with putting stuff away at home. It can be used for collectibles and stuff, but in like a really smart way. Like another example I think we could show from the Figma demo later is if someone is going hiking. Let's say they're going hiking and they've just cataloged their items. So the way Keepin catalogs items is you show the app the item like this, and you don't have to type anything else in. It just automatically identifies what it is, and based on like QR codes and NFC tags that you can just put in on a container or a room or any kind of area you'd like to designate. You'll remember that it is right there with that QR or NFC tag. And so you can retrieve it later. You don't have to remember everything that you have off the top of your head. I can't do that. I don't think most people can. And if you're going hiking later, you just tell the app like, I'm going hiking. You don't have to be like, where are my boots? And then get that. Where is my backpack? And then get that. Where is my water bottle? And if you keep doing it like that one at a time, it's kind of it's kind of tedious, and then you might forget something. Like we're always forgetting stuff when we go outside. If you just say what you're gonna do, this thing it uses it uses computer vision. It uses a lot of learning about your preferences and just context, understanding of context, and it can just pick them all out. It'll understand like, okay, shoes, boots, backpack, water bottle, sunglasses, and it'll just take care of it for you.
Yeah, and it's a really cool future feature is like, especially about going on the hike. It can predict in the future. You'll be able to kind of sync with the weather and be able to tell you like, hey, it might rain today. So for your hike, wear a rain jacket, which you have in your closet right over there in that room in your house. So it's like it's kind of a smart assistant and almost like a digital catalog of all your items that you can never lose something, never forget where something is. It just helps you stay more organized. And
Absolutely. You know, along with syncing with your calendar and the weather, if you allow it, it can also sync with your location services. Now, these are features that have to be enabled, and if you do so, then you can use them for locating items later. You can use them to find relevant items that might be helpful in an area, say you're in an area where it's like where the terrain is a little rougher for walking, it might be able to suggest for your shoes or that kind of thing, you know, in relation to the hiking and such. And as well as that, we want to assure everyone that all of the information is encrypted and private. No one will have access to information about your items except for you. We want to make absolutely sure that you know that we're not spying on how many socks you have in your drawer or anything. You're all good.
yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, it's let's see what's going on. So we got some good questions, and if anyone ever wants to ask anything else, our social medias are obviously they're on should be on the screen. So if you ever after the stream are wondering anything, we're always here to answer questions. So like we want to be transparent and open and just kind of let everyone know how everything works. Um, but yeah, right now we do have. I guess we should mention we do have a Kickstarter coming around the corner. If anyone is looking for ways to get more involved and join and be a part of like the Keepin movement, then that's definitely something to watch out for. It's coming soon. I don't know if we're gonna announce it just yet, right? The exact date, but we're it's coming soon, very soon.
Absolutely. We're just tweaking a few things here and there, making sure, you know, it's the best, most clear and comprehensive for everyone. We're going to have, you know, special perks. You'll have first access to using the tags as well as early access beta features. You get to see all the cool stuff going on in the background. And I guess every now and then we do some kind of fun and like pretty funny tests, so you'll get to see some of those too.
Oh yeah, maybe we can show also um, the picture from yesterday that you shared with me. The way that a similar LLM reacts to the faces and the moods of animal or taxidermy of animals, basically.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so this is a story I gotta explain first. You can pull those pictures up. But basically, yesterday before when we were going to the meeting, I went to the Harvard Museum of Natural History. I was just walking around looking at stuff, and I decided to kind of like fiddle around with this app that basically it uses AI, but it focuses a lot on human interaction, perceived emotion and responding to the person. And I thought, how is this going to work with different things we already have, like computer vision and different analyses like that. So basically, I took a few pictures of different animals. You can pull those up if you like. I think the second picture I sent you, that one, and I basically asked it to do some standard recognition, which of course it did well because computer vision is evolving pretty well these days. And if you have the pictures,
Yep.
but there was one test I did which it was very specific, very nuanced, and I didn't expect it to be able to do that. Okay, so this is the one. So I told this system that this is a taxidermy raccoon. It kind of has an interesting face or expression. Can you take a look at this picture? Can you tell me how do you feel? What kind of expression do you feel that this raccoon is giving off? And I cropped the answer right there. It said it seemed like it was secretly plotting something very mischievous, but trying to play it cool. It's like it's saying, I'm totally innocent, trust me, while scheming in its little raccoon brain. And I thought that was really fun because, of course, you can put this into a standard LLM of some other kind, but their response is going to be like is more not exactly robotic, but less emotional, less fun like this. And I feel like incorporating these kinds of responses, it can really help in making the whole experience and interacting with them more interesting. So that's pretty cool.
I think
Let's see.
yeah, someone chatted. Dzox was saying Dzos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, how do you guys interpret the AI for it? To be, I think he's saying TBH. That seems awesome. TBVA, but I think he's saying TBH.
Okay, interpret the AI. It's like for this or for keeping or in general. What do you think Bezo is asking?
I interpret the AI for maybe for this because we're talking. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I don't know, but if you're talking about for this, I think the LLM probably interprets maybe like characteristics of the face, like the eyes, the eye, how if there's like eyebrows raised above the eye, maybe a smile. It's probably something to do with the smile for sure, right? Like the way it's smiling, kind of mischievously.
Absolutely. It's like so basically they trained it extremely well to detect human faces, subtle emotions, subtle gestures like that. And the way that we apply it to animals and anthropomorphize them, it could essentially do it the same way. We're programmed to be able to read human faces, but sometimes we can use some of those skills on non-humans too. Like whether we're right or we're wrong about what the expression on a non-human face might be, we still make an interpretation of it. And this shows that it can do something similar. So I thought that was pretty awesome to show.
Yeah, it's super cool, and this kind of perfect segue. We can show maybe the whale communicating stuff next because I feel like this stuff's very
Oh
cool,
yeah.
and it seems like people
Oh yeah.
are interested in seeing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you guys want to see? It's like so. I think researchers were able to figure out how to say hello to certain whales, and basically now they're using a lot of AI to help them with talking to whales, getting them engaged in communication. And I think over time it'll take a lot of work. They might be able to decipher more words, their language. That'd be pretty awesome. All right, take it away. Let's show them.
Yeah. Let's,
Okay. Oh, hang on.
the other
Well,
one.
do you think we should show? Oh, we can show either one first, actually.
Oh yeah, we can show the other one if the Let me just skip this ad just so we can have each ready.
Okay. Oh, let's show this one first too.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah, and I have the other one, the second one ready.
oh, and it's the audio play.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did it say I'm tired of finishing? So this team included a professor from UC Davis is
Well,
hoping
maybe
for
turning down to a
interspecies
bit lower
dialogue
resolution.
following this
Do you think
groundbreaking
turning to lower
exchange.
resolution might help with the lag?
oh, yeah. Let me.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that would. Oh yeah, it's all the way up. Let's do maybe like 720. Let me know how it
Some
is
people really.
when I
With
click
a
play.
whale named Twain. Want to hear more? I do. Here's Caleb Mullen with more.
A group of scientists had a 20-minute conversation with a female humpback whale.
Is it good or
And
not?
they say this is just the beginning.
We said how?
Oh, it's still a bit of a lag. Hang on. Oh, I think we could also share the video in the chat while we are playing, so people can see that better.
Oh,
What
true.
do you think?
Yeah. Let me just put this. Let me throw this into the chat so people can watch along, just in case. Let me see. Maybe.
And while you're doing that, essentially what they did was they're starting to, let's see, is there, Kenny asked, is there any upcoming projects for the future? Let's see, and I think I'm interested to hear. Oh, our project or other projects that are upcoming? Because I'd love to share both.
Yeah. There's definitely. I feel like there's definitely upcoming changes for Keepin as well, updates and stuff like that. But
almost instantly, and you'll be able to load up your things really quickly. You'll be able to take like photos of a whole variety of items, like really big ones, really little ones, lay them out in a certain way. Just have it however you like. Yeah. And there's the link to the video, and we're still gonna play it right here.
Yeah, just if you want to watch it like in perfect quality, you have the link right there.
Hi. Next time you want to say, how are you? What's up? Any good fish? Whatever. In other words, more of a vocabulary, and so we want to develop the software for that.
This is a little how their conversation went. Under their NOAA permit, they were only allotted 20 minutes to communicate with the whale.
And also hi to sperm whales, which we're going to try to show you that later. That one was incredible.
But she stuck around for more.
After our 20-minute period of playbacks was over, we turned off our speaker, and she continued to vocalize back to us, even as she was leaving. It was like, hey, maybe another time we can do that, or who knows, right?
The scientists made several attempts before getting a successful response.
And we really got nothing until this particular encounter. We were not targeting Twain, we just happened to come across her.
UC Davis professor Brenda McCowan says the goal is to get their attention and start a dialogue.
In terms of how we proceed in trying to understand our non-human species communicate.
Pretty fascinating, right? The scientists will use this encounter to explore other interspecies communications and even plan to apply their findings to develop what they're calling intelligence filters for the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Outbreak. Oh, aliens.
Always ties back to aliens, I guess, somehow.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be a fun one. But yeah, basically, if we can figure out how to say hi in whale speak, then I think it would be just a step-by-step process to figuring out the rest of the language. Like thinking of what kind of sounds do they make to younger versus older whales? What kind of sounds do they make when they're eating or when they're about to have a rest, when they're migrating? Those kinds of things. Once you start to find these patterns and section them out, like whether or not they say something or don't say something, or even the frequency of it, how much in certain instances, you can kind of figure out a language. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and do you have the first one I sent you with the sperm whale?
Yeah, let me just pull that up really quick. Let me just get the chat.
And I guess with AI processes, it's like it's going to be able to process and kind of do these things much faster, look for these patterns, and essentially it would be pretty cool if it helped us eventually talk to, migrating blue whales, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so this was on PBS. A man went diving into the ocean, and he documented his encounters with various sperm whales. In this footage right here, you can see where he first did the taps on his camera. They figured out that a sequence of 5 taps, tap, 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 was how sperm whales greet each other. And as soon as he did that to one sperm whale, you'll see it if you want to play the video.
Oh, let me get the audio. 1 second. Sorry.
Family that we didn't know.
Okay. And if you want to share that link too.
Yeah, let me get this in the chat for you guys so you can all see it as well.
It's like from the video, the reaction of the whale herself. I think you can get a sense of why it will be incredible
sperm whales first see each other in the Eastern Caribbean, they make a clicking sound in a very distinct pattern. Tick, 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 tick. Like Morse code. Just on a whim, I knocked at the side of my camera housing. Tick, 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 tick. And immediately, it only took one time, she stopped completely and then slowly inverted her body and turned completely around and eventually came face to face with me again from maybe 2 feet away. And then I tried some physical actions. Then I rolled in the water. And then I watched that she rolled in the water. Nobody knew this whale. She hadn't been named yet. So I called her Dolores. After about 45 minutes, she slowly rolled over and just disappeared down into the depths. There are lots of reasons that draw me back to Dominica, but she quickly became the whale that I wanted to see the most.
And if you guys want to check out the rest of that documentary on PBS and the different providers, you'll see that essentially he continued his interactions with this specific whale and various others. And that at one time, when he went out to try to find her, she found him first. Like, she went straight for him to greet him. They had a great time. So it's just that simple act of tapping on his camera 5 times in a specific sequence to show that he understood her in some way. That created some kind of, that created an almost magical connection to this huge wild animal. And I'm just so excited for the different things that might be possible and we'll be able to see in the future. How about you, Sam? Like, what you thinking?
Yeah, like if we can already kind of get a little bit of a grasp as to what they're saying, it just makes me wonder how are things going to be like in 20 years when we can just fully understand what all animals are saying. Is there going to be, it comes in also like an ethical question. Is there going to be, free speech for animals? How are animals going to, I guess, if animals could communicate with us, will they be more, present in everyday life? Will animals that we didn't really talk to before just kind of come out of the woodwork and start becoming part of society? Like, there's a lot of things that could change with that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It just opens up like a whole like Pandora's box of this and that in the future. Like opening up and creating these new technologies, establishing these dialogues. I think it's something we should do because they are speaking, they are saying something. We've shown that, but yeah, the can of worms that would open up.
Yeah, and
We'll just have to wait and see.
Maybe there's going to be like animal social media. I mean, who knows?
I'll get on the bird talk.
Yeah, and just what kind of, I guess, yeah. What have they been observing about us that also they're just? What if they have a lot to say? What if they just? Well, what if also some of them are meaner than we thought? What if like some really cute animals are like really rude?
Oh, absolutely. It's like, I heard someone say somewhere, it's like, I think they took care of some kind of animal, and they basically said, just like people, some animals, some individuals, they're just kind of cranky. Nothing happened to them. They're just like that.
Yeah, and we'll start getting kind of to see that whole world, the whole side of their emotions that we haven't really been able to understand. And yeah, I mean that's definitely cool. And also like just I guess we'll start seeing like maybe like animal rights movements like led by animals of like
Oh, dang. Oh, damn. Imagine what the future holds.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but it's cool. I mean, like some of the stuff about like from that TED talk where this with the spatial awareness, like I was seeing how they took like a couple images of like an apartment and turned it into like a 3D model, and then like took like one image and turned it almost kind of like into a world. So like I'm thinking that it's like for even movies and like cartoons and stuff, if they just get like a couple images of like a real um, animal, kingdom or something like an animal, somewhere in the jungle, a few animals, they could kind of turn it into a whole immersive experience almost, kind of like let people go through VR or AR into like the jungle somewhere in the Amazon, almost from just like a bunch of still photos or some videos. They can kind of just like generate what the rest of it would look like and let people kind of explore. So I don't know. That's just a thought, but something with like the animals and like understanding what they say too could kind of play into that. Like maybe there will be like the zoos will be so much more immersive because animals you'll be able to understand what they're saying and you can communicate with them and kind of yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And I was thinking, like, if animals can, I guess one thing that could happen also if we can communicate with animals is that if I were a wild animal, just personally, I wouldn't want to live in the wild. It's tough out there, you know.
True.
Some of them might be just like, I don't know if I should say. Some of them would just not want to take care of themselves. Just have food brought to them so they can relax. And if we can establish some kind of damn, we're already going way out there really early in the first stream, but okay, let's roll with it.
Yeah, no worries.
I guess what if we like I think if the animals understand that we want to feed them to look at them, some of them might
Oh yeah.
might be interested in that.
Cats, I think for
Like
sure.
yeah, like and definitely. Oh, I've always been like concerned about keeping animals against their will. Like if some kind of ethical quandary. If But basically, if we were able to communicate with them, then they could just get like a job. They just get a job. Just get looked at.
Yeah, and it's like, will we have to be paying animals to be pets? Is that going to become a full time job now? And but it's almost kind of like I was actually thinking about this the other day because it's like for for a cat for example, like I think a lot of them have the opportunity probably to escape, like if they really wanted to. They're pretty smart and small and agile, like they probably could, but it's like what would they do out there? There's a lot of stuff going on. They get food guaranteed at home, they get places to sleep all day, so it's like would they even want to leave? And then I was thinking about like how there are humans technically who live like out in like the wild, like and stuff even right now. And I was almost kind of like we almost are like we live in like the equivalent of like a cat that's domesticated world, and then there are people that live in like the wolf world, I guess, the jungle.
Absolutely, and it's like I guess it's what we're used to. It's what's around us that is available to us. But I think like overall, you can see societies, people they tend to prefer easier lives overall, if they're and this is something so far out there. I don't think we have any of the answers right now. But as things develop, maybe we can find some answers one day that like I don't know. It's just helpful for the animals in general. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. The future holds a lot. I see someone commented, and they also have a YouTube channel. So maybe we'll subscribe. We'll hit you with the subscribe back. Just
For sure. Oh, and I think you mentioned the video earlier. I don't think we've shown that the video, but it's the one with computer vision, explained by Fei Fei Li, the
Yeah, let's play that.
She did and if you've ever heard of or want to look up this thing called ImageNet, she is the founder of it. Basically, modern day computer vision, artificial intelligence being able to look at something and understanding what it is, and further, she did some of the foundational work for that. And she's currently working on some even more incredible projects with collaborators, students, and you have to see this. It's like the one we talked about where they just take one photo and they create a whole world with it. Like how if someone sees a photo themselves, they can in their mind's eye imagine what else is there, and it kind of does that same way.
Yeah, no, it's a great explanation too, and I wasn't very aware of exactly how all that came to be. Like the fact that Walt, her student startup, was around before Sora is I just didn't even know that, and that's crazy. And the database is it played a huge role, and I guess you just don't know sometimes with like inventions like this. You don't know the back end of how it came to be. You know what I mean? You see the end result, and it just you don't know how much different inputs went into the back end and how much work went into it. Let me.
Absolutely. Like just the simple action of turning on your phone, swiping to unlock it, like flicking around, that seems so simple and easy and intuitive for us. But you have to think about all of the stuff, all of the work and development in hardware and software development that it took to reach like a time in human history where people could just flick around on their phones and it becomes commonplace, you know?
And I'm just okay. Got it. Let me just share my screen again.
Lucky number 7.
Oh my God. Share me to show the link to the app.
Oh yeah, and I'll send a link to them as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like this could a lot of video games, I guess open world immersive video games where stuff has to be continuously generated. They could incorporate this while still maintaining the artist. The artist can create. They already have something like this, but the artist can create some of the assets, the stylization of it, and keep them employed, but also greatly expand upon what the gamers can do inside of the digital worlds. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of use cases, and it's for games. I think with VR, it will be very useful. Like the generating of worlds as you're playing, potentially even making unlimited worlds. Let me just. I'm just getting the link for them as well, so I have to get to the chat. There we go. Okay. And just let me know if you want me to pause it at any point, so we can talk.
To be precise, I'm gonna show you nothing. This was the world 540 million years ago. Pure, endless darkness. It wasn't dark due to a lack of light. It was dark because of a lack of sight.
Yep. Yeah. Let me just pause that.
Let's see. What do you guys think about the future of AI in the next upcoming years? Oh my goodness, it's already developing rapidly, and I think the growth is predictably going to be extremely exponential. The rate of adoption itself is already incredible. I think it's something we have to all work to shape in like and move in a positive direction for people. I know maybe
life, there was not a single eye to be found in these ancient waters. No retinas, no corneas, no lenses. So all this light, all this life went unseen. There was a time that the very idea of seeing didn't exist. It was simply never been done before, till it was. So for reasons we're only beginning to understand, trilobites, the first organisms that could sense light, emerged. They're the first inhabitants of this reality that we take for granted. First to discover that there's something other than oneself, a world of many selves. The ability to see is thought to have ushered in Cambrian explosion, a period in which a huge variety of animal species entered fossil records. What began as a passive experience, the simple act of letting light in, soon become far more active.
Oh.
The nervous system.
I don't know, it's like the audio suddenly stopped. I'm not sure. Can you guys hear the audio on your end? Or did it suddenly stop too?
Oh, I could hear it, but let me go back. Should we go back a little bit, maybe, in the video?
Yeah, maybe just like a few seconds, just like a few
Yeah.
seconds.
Is everyone able to hear it? In the chat, was everyone able to hear it? Or are we having some technical difficulties?
I'm trying to think you can.
Selves.
Okay, I can hear now, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The ability to see is thought to have ushered in Cambrian explosion, a period in which a huge variety of animal species entered fossil records. What began as a passive experience, the simple act of letting light in, soon become far more active. The nervous system began to evolve. Sight turning to insight. Seeing become understanding. Understanding led to actions, and all these give rise to intelligence. Today, we're no longer satisfied with just nature's gift of visual intelligence. Curiosity urges us to create machines to see just as intelligently as we can, if not better. 9 years ago on the stage, I delivered an early progress report on computer vision, a subfield of artificial intelligence. 3 powerful forces converged for the first time. A family of algorithms called neural network, fast, specialized hardware called graphic processing units, or TPUs, and big data, like the 15 million images that my lab spent years curating called ImageNet. Together, they ushered in the age of modern AI.
Lucky number 7. 7 days of the week. 7 wonders of the world. Culture is shaped by sevens. Experience the redefining BMW 7 Series now.
Let me record on Zoom as well, just to be safe. I'm doing it on OBS and YouTube, but
We've come a long way. Back then, just putting labels on images were a big breakthrough. But the speed and accuracy of these algorithms just improved rapidly. At the annual ImageNet Challenge led by my lab gauged the performance of these progress. And on this plot, you're seeing the annual improvement and milestone models. We went a step further and created algorithms that can segment objects or predict the dynamic relationships among them in these works done by
the sports one, the sports one could be really cool for like sports betting, sports games, even like, like I was thinking like it could prevent a lot of injuries from those Red Bull and like X sports, those like extreme sports, like dirt biking when they're doing the flips and stuff, and like those extreme sports, I feel like could really use that, where like maybe the camera could be kind of detecting like what movements are the other racers are doing, and kind of like tell a racer like, oh, you're about to have a crash, or like kind of, in race car driving too, and like maybe even in football where there's a lot of head-on collisions, they can kind of just like they can kind of be able to predict where, because they're kind of saying they can see the relationship between the individual players, and if a car is like moving and is about to hit a barrier or something. I think it could be really cool in terms of preventing like injuries and you know stuff like that in sports.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it can recognize, subtle things like even maybe movement a few inches this way or that way that can determine whether something's going to be fine or might result in an injury. These predictive algorithms, once they get to see these kinds of things and they get to learn about them over time, I think that there's potential to even be connected with the players at the time, like maybe notify them right beforehand so that they can avoid getting hurt as often. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if we could automatically like voice chat talk to them.
Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. The Newgate Industry says, okay, my voice is a bit low. Is it a bit low? I can let me see. I gotta get a new microphone in a couple of days, but let me see. Okay, can you hear me a little better now, or should I do some settings changes and turn it up a bit so you can hear me a little better? Sam, can you hear me at all, or should I? Let's see.
Yeah, let me turn it up
Is there?
all. I'll turn it up all the way, and I'll lower my mic just so mine's not too loud. And it should be
Yeah.
maximum volume, like as loud as possible on my end right now on OBS.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And let me go to the settings on here. There's settings in here on Zoom that can change my increase my volume, right? Uh, Let me see. Yeah, and apologies for my volume. I know sometimes I talk up pretty quietly. It's on me. Let's
And
see.
if by any chance, if you have Apple headphones, those can also be pretty good. If you have the ones with like the little clicker, those can be kind of good. But also, yeah, just sometimes on Zoom it like lowers the volume a little to make sure that it's not like too loud. But how does it sound now? If you want to maybe say a few things just to test it out, and like people in the chat can say if it sounds good.
Yep, and I think I turned it up a little bit. So can you hear me a little better right now?
Yeah, for me it's good. But yeah, because I'm using like it's good for me. But everyone's saying a couple of Newsgate agency and a D have said that it's good now.
Okay, that's good. And if at any point in the stream you have any inputs like something's too loud or too quiet or any technical stuff, feel free to let us know. We're happy to adjust it for you.
Yeah, please let us know. Yeah, at any point, don't feel like you can't interrupt it. Put something in the chat. Let us know sooner than later. We appreciate you guys letting us know because we're also learning. So it's like now we'll make sure next time to have the volumes all the way up. Kind of we'll double check that. We'll make sure to have some and we'll have everything figured out as we go. We're learning as we go.
And hey, the first stream is mostly working. That is great. Some of them they don't even have that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went with like I edited the background a little more. If you do see it on your side, if you check the channel. But if anyone's looking at the background and has been wondering what's in the background, you can see a little sneak peek. First of all, of the app, you can see a little phone leaning up against the shelves in the back. You can see the Keep bins, the bins that will work with this app that will help you store your stuff a lot easier. They have these built-in QR codes for each box, and you can see our little free organization guide to organize the perfect kitchen leaned up against those boxes. So if you're wondering where you can get that, the link is in the chat. So if you just have to sign up, and you get it immediately. You'll get it emailed to you. It's a free PDF on how you can utilize a kitchen space to just organize it to be the most efficient it can possibly be. We all know that a messy kitchen can and a messy space in general can lead to a messy life. Your living. This really good quote that I heard is your living space is not storage space. So your kitchen should not just be a pantry. Your whole kitchen shouldn't be a pantry. It should be, a place where you can actually cook. So check that out. The link is in the chat.
Oh, and Diva asks, is it free? Absolutely, completely free. Just download it and it's yours to look at to maybe help you organize a little bit and create a more, just a more Zen-like living space because the quality of a living space, how everything's structured, moved around, it can really help with even decluttering your mind too sometimes. And we have so much free content planned, information, quizzes, just little booklets that we're going to be giving out. And if you want to stay signed up and get those free things too, then we would be happy if you did so.
Yeah, and definitely check out also like the blog has a lot of useful resources. We have continuous blogs that we post on there on like organizing a small space. That's been a good blog. I mean, just if you want any resources, you can find keepin.ai and all the links on the top of the screen that you see right now. Check those out and kind of go through our content. There's a lot of free goodies, and yeah, it's a little bit for everyone.
And and I guess we can get back to the video right now. Oh, that's really interesting. It's parting out the face and the hair and the body, and just it's just like sectioning them out for the best recognition. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, yeah, and on the horse, it even detects like the person versus the horse. Like it has the person in green,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that's like the next stage, diving deep into the context of images and relation of people, entities, and stuff to each other.
Yeah, because like they are right next to each other, and like it seems almost like one object, but it's cool that it's differentiating them. But yeah, let's get back into it.
By my students and collaborators. And there's more. Recall last time I showed you the first computer vision algorithm that can describe a photo in human natural language. That was work done with my brilliant former student, Andre Kapathy. At that time, I pushed my luck and said, Andre, can we make computers to do the reverse? And Andre said, haha, that's impossible. Well, as you can see from this post recently, the impossible has become possible. That's thanks to a family of diffusion models that powers today's generative AI algorithm, which can take a human prompted sentence and turn them into photos and videos of something that's entirely new. Many of you have seen the recent impressive results of Sora by OpenAI. But even without the enormous number of GPUs, my student and our collaborators have developed a generative video model called Walt months before Sora. And you're seeing some of these results. There is room for improvement. I mean, look at that cat's eye and the way it goes under the wave without ever getting wet. What a catastrophe. And if passes the prologue, we will learn from these mistakes and create a future we imagine. And in this future, we want AI to do everything it can for us or to help us. For years, I have been saying that taking a picture is not the same as seeing and understanding. Today, I would like to add to that. Simply seeing is not enough. Seeing is for doing and learning. When we act upon this world in 3D space and time, we learn and we learn to see and do better. Nature has created this virtuous cycle of seeing and doing, powered by spatial intelligence. To illustrate to you what your spatial intelligence is doing constantly, look at this picture. Raise your hand if you feel like you want to do something. In the last split of a second, your brain looked at the geometry of this glass, its place in 3D space, its relationship with the table, the cat, and everything else, and you can predict what's going to happen next. The urge to act is innate to all beings with spatial intelligence, which links perception with action. And if we want to advance AI beyond its current capabilities, we want more than AI that can see and talk. We want AI that can do. Indeed, we're making exciting progress. The recent milestones in spatial intelligence is teaching computers to see, learn, do, and learn to see and do better. This is not easy. It took nature millions of years to evolve spatial intelligence, which depends on the eye taking light, project 2D images on the retina, and the brain to translate these data into 3D information. Only recently, a group of researchers from Google are able to develop an algorithm to take a bunch of photos and translate that into 3D space, like the examples we're showing here. My student and our collaborators have taken a step further and created an algorithm that takes one input image and turn that into 3D shape. Here are more examples. Recall we talked about computer programs that can take a human sentence and turn into videos. A group of researchers in University of Michigan have figured out a way to translate that line of sentence into 3D room layout, like shown here. And my colleagues at Stanford and their students have developed an algorithm that takes one image and generates infinitely plausible spaces for viewers to explore. These are prototypes of the first budding signs of a future
Yeah, I'm like wondering if it would be able, like, I'm just imagining like a family like in their house, if the AI can sense that they're like maybe grieving or like need privacy, it like closes the shades like by their mood. It can tell that they're like, having a private emotional moment. It closes the shades, maybe put some dim lighting on, some nice music, or like if people are very happy and like trying to celebrate, it's like they open, it's like, it kind of relates accordingly.
Absolutely. And it's like I think even still now there's a lot of separation in people's minds between the artificial intelligence and actual human emotions. And it's like I feel AI can help assist in that. It can learn about human emotions, the context of how we feel, and just help us in moments that we need it the most.
Yeah, like if in the morning it could sense that like you had a bad start to the day, then it could kind of even tailor your home or the experience for when you get home. You know what I mean? Like it kind of knew that you had that rough start to the day, so it created a relaxing environment when you come home.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's like I think all of us have felt at some point, probably a few times every now and then, we feel like something is stressing us out. In that moment, right away, we would like some kind of support. But maybe even if we do have people in our lives that are great and we love, at that moment, they're not available. They're away, they're just not looking at their phones at the moment, and we just need something right then and there. And this to create something that can help support people in their emotions to be at, within arm's reach any moment they need it. I can imagine the incredible benefits to mental health that could have.
That's very true, and like sometimes you don't want to speak up and say something, out like to someone. You just don't want to bring it up. But with this, like if it can kind of just tell that you're going through something, that can kind of get around that problem. If some people just, they don't like to open up or they don't want to even bring it up or talk about it. So it's like it can kind of help even those kind of, people who aren't sharing.
Yeah. And I guess that's in one way that's something that could be good with facial recognition. Just being able to look at you, read your subtle emotions, and even if you're not fully aware of it, just tell that maybe something's wrong and asking you, "Hey, what's up? Do you need to talk? Do you need me to like get you something in a way I can?" It's like a it's like it's not there, yet it's always there in some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like just that got me thinking of like if you were like dehydrated or something. You just came back from the gym and you don't even recognize that you need water, you know? Because you're not looking at yourself, but it can just see like, oh, you're pale, you look dehydrated. Like, hey, here's boom, glass of water from the fridge.
Absolutely. It's like it just like almost an emergency thing. Like, hey, you need to stop everything else right now. You need to get water first and foremost. Like, it can help us take care of ourselves when we neglect to take care of ourselves because we're busy, we're thinking about other stuff and preoccupied. So it
But
could be like a assistant in that way.
yeah, especially for like pets too. If like the owner's away or something, and it can just kind of and like pets with that communicating thing, that would be cool. Like but as of right now, pets can't really talk. Like they can't talk right now, so it's like it could sense how they're feeling just by their facial expressions and like can tell what they need almost and where they're going, where they're hovering around. Like, do they need food, water?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like if people can kind of sense what an animal's feeling sometimes, a pet that they have and what they need, then I think certainly these systems with their vision and such can do it at least as good, if not better. Like earlier today, my dog kept looking at me. He didn't say anything. He didn't make much noise. He just was like right before the stream started, he was just like staring at me, staring daggers at me. And I was just looking at him like, what do you want? What do you, oh, you want some dentist sticks. And I'm hoping that maybe they can create something like that in the future so that, it can give him dentist sticks. So, oh, he's glaring at me still, but yeah, that would be nice.
Maybe he heard the word.
Yeah, yeah. Ah.
Yeah.
Possibility, one in which the human race can take our entire world and translate into digital forms and model the richness and nuances. What nature did to us implicitly in our individual minds, spatial intelligence technology can hope to do for our collective consciousness. As the progress of spatial intelligence accelerates, a new era in this virtuous cycle is taking place in front of our eyes. This back and forth is catalyzing robotic learning, a key component for any embodied intelligence system that needs to understand and interact with the 3D world. A decade ago, ImageNet from my lab enabled a database of millions of high-quality photos to help train computers to see. Today, we're doing the same with behaviors and actions to train computers and robots how to act in the 3D world. But instead of collecting static images, we develop simulation environments powered by 3D spatial models so that the computers can have infinite varieties of possibilities to learn to act. And you're just seeing a small number of examples to teach our robots in a project led by my lab called Behavior. We're also making exciting progress in robotic language intelligence. Using large language model-based input, my students and our collaborators are among the first team that can show a robotic arm performing a variety of tasks based on verbal instructions, like opening this drawer or unplugging a charged phone, or making sandwiches using bread, lettuce, tomatoes, and even putting a napkin for the user. Typically, I would like a little more for my sandwich, but this is a good start. In that primordial ocean in our ancient times, the ability to see and perceive one's environment kicked off the Cambrian explosion of interactions with other life forms. Today, that light is reaching the digital minds. Spatial intelligence are allowing machines to interact not only with one another, but with humans and with 3D worlds, real or virtual. And as that future is taking shape, it'll have a profound impact to many lives. Let's take healthcare as an example. For the past decade, my lab has been taking some of the first steps in applying AI to tackle challenges that impact patient outcome and medical staff burnout. Together with our collaborators from Stanford School of Medicine and partnering hospitals, we're piloting smart sensors that can detect clinicians going into patient rooms without properly washing their hands.
I think that's gonna get a lot of people in trouble. That checking the washing of hands.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. But in a way, good. Because
Yeah,
in those situations, they gotta keep washing their hands if they're medical professionals. My
of
goodness.
course. Yeah, no, that's gonna be great. I think for people who are who are doctors or whoever's now not been washing their hands, that's gonna be not a good day.
Yep.
Or keep track of surgical instruments, or alert care teams when a patient is at physical risk, such as falling. We consider these techniques a form of ambient intelligence, like extra pairs of eyes that do make a difference. But I would like more interactive help for our patients, clinicians, and caretakers who desperately also need an extra pair of hands. Imagine autonomous robot transporting medical supplies while caretakers focus on our patients, or augmented reality guiding surgeons to do safer, faster, and less invasive operations. Or imagine patients with severe paralysis controlling robots with their thoughts, that's right, brainwaves, to perform everyday tasks that you and I take for granted. You're seeing a glimpse of that future in this pilot study from my lab recently. In this video, the robotic arm is cooking a Japanese sukiyaki meal controlled only by the brain electrical signal non-invasively collected through an EEG cap. Thank you. The emergence of vision 500 million years ago
No, and
turned
I
the
think
world of
something that she didn't say as clearly as she did in another talk is that that brain cap thing, it does not use any implants. With implants, there's always a risk of issues of the body somehow reacting to and rejecting to some kind of device. So just having an external wearable that can be easily taken on and off for those who need that kind of assistance is really good.
Yeah, and probably much less invasive than maybe like a Neuralink or something that's like goes in, you know.
of darkness upside down. It set off the most profound evolutionary process, the development of intelligence in animal world. AI's breathtaking progress in the last decade is just as astounding. But I believe the full potential of this digital Cambrian explosion won't be fully realized until we power our computers and robots with spatial intelligence, just like what nature did to all of us. It's an exciting time to teach our digital companion to learn to reason and to interact with this beautiful 3D space we call home, and also create many more new worlds that we can all explore. To realize this future won't be easy. It requires all of us to take thoughtful steps and develop technologies that always put humans in the center. But if we do this right, the computers and robots powered by spatial intelligence will not only be useful tools, but also trusted partners to enhance and augment our productivity and humanity while respecting our individual dignity and lifting our collective prosperity. What excites me the most in the future is a future in which that AI grows more perceptive, insightful, and spatially aware, and they join us on our quest to always pursue a better way to make a better world. Thank you.
was a great talk.
Mm, yeah. And it's just I think present like she presented some several years ago, and just to see the recent advancements and things they've been working on, it's quite nice.
Yeah, I was just like looking at one of the things that we had to talk about actually was that, and it perfectly ties into what she was finishing off with because I think they definitely will get more advanced because like even recently they have announced that a lot of media companies are basically licensing out their content to like Sora and OpenAI and different AI companies for training, for to train these models basically. So like these media companies with tons of content are just providing training content basically via licensing agreements. So I can pull this up if to share with the viewers. But it was talking about like New York or I think Time magazine, um, and something like that. So yeah, Time is also partnering with OpenAI, joins other media companies like News Corp, Axel Springer, the Financial Times, Fox Media, the Atlantic, and the Associated Press, where we have a Keepin article. Maybe I'll put that in the chat in a few seconds. But so they're basically licensing content for training AI models like ChatGPT, um, which I think that will be a little bit of a game changer for these visual AIs.
Absolutely, and it's just I'm thinking they probably have some I guess what they're called are trade secrets, like things that they're working on that they want to release to the public we can't even think of right now, and that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, and like it's saying they have like current and historic content, so maybe it could help with like I don't know, maybe creating like models of older historic like cities that existed in the past and all this stuff.
Mhm. Oh, and maybe it's I'm thinking right now, this could be something that could be incredible to partner with photographers. Like currently, I think in the past few years, if you want to get like a full 3D visual of an entire space, you have to take so much photo, so much visual, and in a lot of instances, that might be difficult or even not possible. But if that generative environment that Fei Li was working on with her team, this could be greatly implemented in journalistic photography.
Yeah, and like then events will have like a full immersive experience, like in an article that you can look through instead of just seeing a still photo.
Yeah, really bringing the story to life, like I guess increasing the impact that something has. Like sometimes a story doesn't give as much of the message across. It's and creating that environment in which a person can be immersed in, it can be far more impactful to them.
I'm thinking like also in schools, like history class with this would be crazy.
Oh yeah, oh
Like
yeah.
a battle of like Gettysburg where you're seeing the whole thing would be like I think I would remember probably a lot more.
Mhm. Oh goodness, I'm thinking it's like, oh, that would be a great job for the for like the Civil War reenactors. Just get together and create these little educational things for children, and this would definitely, greatly engage them in the learning experience. And I'm thinking that I think in general, a lot of kids, it might be hard to pay attention to that kind of stuff. It just doesn't interest them. Well, it's not the most interesting things in their lives, but
Yeah.
to create these, fun, entertaining, engaging contents, and to even engage maybe children who have a little more, like a little harder time paying attention to things. This could really help, and not just history. It could be the natural sciences. It could be mathematics, even. It could even be used in like phys ed classes somehow, where I guess it would be easier to demonstrate like a certain ways where the kids could better play certain sports. I'd be very interested in that.
True, if you were practicing like your form for basketball, for example, and you were trying to shoot a certain way, you could almost have it like it with some kind of AR kind of show you the perfect model of how to do it based on basketball players doing it and kind of like show you how you should be doing it with your height, your size, and like that could be crazy. And yeah, yeah, it could be like with a VR headset, like a history class where kids are just watching the whole thing play out. That would definitely be a good way to get people's attention. And like you were saying, like with people with ADHD or something like that, or a learning disability, that could be a great way to get the attention of and capture the attention and retain the attention of people who have a little bit of an attention disorder potentially.
Absolutely. Even words on a page for anybody. Uh, it's when you have visuals. It's like I think it's a step-by-step thing. An image, it increases the engagement in what the text says. A video, even more of it. But if you are immersed in the experience itself, it's like it becomes it's more likely to become like it's closer to a core memory, right? Something like that. It becomes like your mind instinctively responds to it as if it's something actually worth remembering, and you don't have to put so much effort into it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes sense because like most memories are usually visual. Like when you try to look back at something at a time or a good memory, you know what I mean? You envision it rather than just you don't envision words in your head that are describing the event. You envision what the event looked like. So seeing a visual, it makes sense that that would relate more to how we think and how we remember memories. I'm sure it's different for
Oh, and
everyone.
this
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this reminds me, like several years back, do you remember Google had this program? It's like you could print out a pattern and cut it out of cardboard and then put your phone in, and it was like a really cheap VR headset.
Yes.
Yeah, so even though it was really cheap, really inexpensive, it shows how easily accessible it is to put VR into the hands of students and and more broadly. And so that incorporating this kind of stuff into schools that'd be pretty straightforward.
Yeah. 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 No, I think that maybe in like 5 to 10 years, I could see that becoming a thing because I feel like schools are a little bit delayed. Like in terms of like, I remember when like MacBooks became popular. Like, I feel like they didn't get into schools immediately, but like then a couple years went by and then they came in. So I feel like once VR is mainstream and like maybe Apple's VR headset becomes a more affordable and common thing, I think schools would get a deal pretty quickly with Apple because they have always had like, especially here, I feel like a lot of schools have had deals with Apple to get MacBooks and to get Apple computers. So I think once Apple makes that VR more, reasonably priced, or just maybe a second version rolls around where it's a little bit easier to mass produce, I think a lot of schools could end up getting that for classrooms and stuff.
Absolutely. And it's like, I think the first version, of course, is a little bigger, heavier, and higher priced. But as we've seen with a lot of their technologies, it gets better and it gets cheaper over time. We just have to wait a little bit. And until then, I guess I think some schools do try out things like the Meta headsets. They have the Quest 3 out, I think, that got a lot of the pro features on the standard. And those are like around $300, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'd be pretty easy to incorporate into a school system.
Yeah, I have like an Oculus. I'm pretty sure that it's the same thing as the Meta one because they bought it and it
Hmm.
works pretty well. I would say that the main thing with it right now is I feel like there's not enough programs on it. Like it's such an early
Hmm.
thing that there's not enough third party people like creating apps for it yet. And once the developers have some time to like create a bunch of great apps for it, I think then it might have a better chance really at becoming a common VR headset than the Apple one, just because they did start earlier, I guess, and they kind of made it like the expectations I feel like for the Apple one were so high because of the price tag. Whereas for the Meta one, it's a little bit more understandable that like this is the it was the Quest 1 and the Quest 2, so like everyone knows there's going to be a lot more iterations and a lot more versions. So it's like people are kind of like they're not as like high hopes, but with the Apple one, I feel like when it was about to come out, like it was like the Vision Pros, so everyone thought it would be like this finished version. And then I saw that a lot of people were returning it like right after getting it. So I don't know.
It's like yeah, it's like it's like they were shooting high and had a high price tag and just didn't quite hit the mark. Like they didn't completely fail, but it's like you had just a little below right now, and people's expectations, especially with that price tag, they were kind of disappointed. I feel like yeah, it feels like the first one is more of a test run, like trying to find proof in the market, and maybe with future iterations, they'll be improved upon, and people can maybe start to feel like it's start to feel like that this one, like the app, like the Vision Pro 2, is something that they can use in their daily lives and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and with the content on the stuff, I think I have the Quest too. I completely get you on like there not being a whole lot of stuff on there. Like it's you can watch a few like spacewalks, and you can watch these like 3D videos where you go back in time and see ancient animals, play some games. It's really nice. And does yours also have the hand detection?
Mine has these two like things for my hand that I hold.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those are great. But does yours have that thing where it sees your hands too? So your hands can like move freeform in the environment.
Oh, I don't think so actually. I don't know if I've even tried
Oh,
that, but I've only tried it out a few times. I don't think it has the free form. It's like right there. I have one piece that goes on my head and these two like hand things. But I think I have to be holding the remotes.
oh yeah. Oh, try that out next time. If not, like I have not used mine in a while. You gotta try it out. It's like you don't even need the remote things. You can just kind of like hold your hand up and just point at things, pinch things, and then it's selecting stuff. And also sometimes in the games, like my avatar, I'm moving my hands around, it's detecting where the hands, estimating where the arms are. And I've played a few horror games. I hate to admit, I've just like given some rude gestures that I cannot on this stream to like these monsters. It's very enjoyable. It's very enjoyable seeing digital hands doing that to like a giant beast and stuff.
No, that's cool. I gotta try that out. I gotta try the see if I have the no controller feature. And like, yeah, I feel like I've tried it out and I see like that there's a few things that you can do on it, but it's almost like I have more enjoyment like watching my friends try it for the first time. Like I just like show people it and stuff, and like it's cool to try. But I don't know if at this point it's like there's enough stuff for me to regularly use it, like as a phone or something like that. It's more of like a for entertainment, I would say, rather than a tool, you
Mhm.
know?
Yep, still in a novelty stage. Like it has to prove that it's more essential. I think. Oh, maybe this is what smartphones had initially, right? Like the very first smartphones, they were great. Plenty of people adopted them, but like mass adoption, it took a while, just a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like at first the main cool things I feel like about like the iPhone, for example, were like all the like apps and the games and like, you know, so it's like once that novelty wears off, people will then start finding ways to use it as a real tool and incorporate it, professionally, and it will kind of become just a necessity of society, like like the iPhone.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, it's all about, I guess, implementing it in a way that's more convenient because right now it's like the headset is a whole thing. It's like, I guess, I guess the way they like to present it is like it's something to do when you're in like a gaming zone, in an entertainment zone, right? It's it's like you got to put it on, you got to get the controllers set apart a certain time, a certain space to use for that kind of stuff. But if we can make it more automatic, intuitive, maybe small, not quite a Google Glass because that didn't work out, but something, you know?
Yeah, Google Glass though seemed cool. Like for how unpopular it became, like and how it flopped, I thought it was pretty cool, like as a
Mhm.
concept.
Yeah. It was absolutely cool. Like the things it could do, the things it promised, and I think they're definitely still holding on to some of those concepts like technology for developing things now. But I'm just wondering, like, was at least part of the reason why it flopped just the frame? Like, do you remember that?
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe if they, because like then later I saw like Ray Ban did a version with Snapchat, I think, to make these glasses, and to make these smart glasses. And I feel like if Google collaborated maybe with like something like Ray Ban to make it like look like just a normal pair of sunglasses, or like a, you know what I mean? But then it has the Google Glass inside. I feel like then people would almost like it would help. I don't know if it would be a guaranteed success, obviously, but I feel like that would help. You're right. Like having like a ubiquitous, like just a frame that's not obviously this is a tech glass.
Yeah, absolutely. And it got me thinking about like designer sunglasses. Like it's not something I have, but you know those sunglasses, like people are willing to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars for them, and they're just a nice looking pair of sunglasses. With that budget, you could easily incorporate some technology into them, and people would just have these like really high-end fashion statements that would also be able to do all this complex computational stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, and also, I was at a networking event and I talked to someone. He couldn't disclose much, but something to do with augmented reality in biomedics. And he couldn't say much, but I think I kind of deduced that they were going to put something in the safety goggles or visors for lab techs to use. Like safety goggles and visors, they would have to wear anyway. So just to put something on there that can maybe project, ooh, like he couldn't confirm it, but I got a hunch, you know?
Ooh, because like they were showing in that TED talk, they were showing how like the image recognition scans like a lab. So like those goggles could maybe be showing you like if you're mixing stuff, it could make if it could differentiate between like even liquids and compounds and like you know what I mean? Like if you're mixing like two liquids that kind of look similar to you, but the AI can tell exactly which one's which. That'd be pretty good to like you'll never forget where you put something. You'll kind of see maybe even the results live. Like if it's analyzing what you're mixing, it can kind of tell you like what is going to happen slash like how much more you need for what.
Absolutely, like a always on second pair of eyes that's live can help notify you right before a mistake or help you correct it early so it's not too late. That kind of stuff. That'd be pretty awesome. And also, and I guess they could. I guess medical professionals, like in certain instances with the patient's consent, they could also use that with the patients, to better, like, if they're examining something on the patient that they are concerned about, you get immediate like responses there. Sometimes I remember sometimes when I was at the doctor's office, they would look and then they would go and consult another physician or get someone in and also do that kind of thing. And that's fine, but it takes a bit more time. So if they already had that on to see it, like not only do they have that immediate access, but like a much uh, a much larger library of different things to better diagnose.
Yeah, and maybe that could even with the patient's consent even share that to some kind of database accessible by another doctor that could take a look at it and give a second opinion instantly. And even in surgeries, like having that a glass that tells you what's going on to the doctor, like during a surgery, if just analyzing all the body parts, I guess, like analyzing if something's gonna go wrong or something's going well.
Absolutely. And it's just like scheduling the whole thing, making things faster and more intuitive. Because, like before, if you had something wrong, they would tell you to come back. They had to schedule or reschedule something to show another doctor whenever they're back in. Just the amount of time. And if it's something that could be serious, that just puts them at greater risk later. So if during the initial checkup they just have the video, then right then and there they can forward it to those who may have a better assessment of it, and just that the time saved with this kind of technology could save lives.
Yeah, and exactly like in that space, that's where it matters a lot.
Hmm. Oh, so many cool things.
Yeah. Should we do have a few other like new stuff we can talk about. We have at one point, Adam, in terms of keeping stuff, we do have the Figma to show. I don't,
Oh
so maybe
yeah.
should we do that maybe now?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. It's do you have the link to it over there?
Yeah, let me just pull it up and I'll share my screen.
Yep. Yep. So just to let everyone know, basically the front end, the UI and UX of the Keepin app has been created, and also the back end is like the item recognition. It's very simple. Is in I'd say pretty much almost good to go right now. We just got to do a little few tweaks here and there for the basic working stuff, and someone's connecting them right now. So I've been told that they're going to forward me the very first working version in about a week. And then from there, we're gonna tweak things here and there. We might have a testable beta in around, I'd say, 2-ish months for both Android and iOS. We're adding a little bit more time onto the initial development so it can be available for both.
Okay.
And let's see, Mia says, how many people are on your team? Okay, let's see. Of course, Sam is on, I am on, and the lead developer, Rishi, he's going to be on future episodes. I'd say he is the biggest brain in figuring out how this kind of stuff works. He's experimenting with different things. Like early on, he experimented with something called CogVLM, which is like different language models of visual processing things that can discern items a little better than the mainstream LLMs because they specialize in that kind of stuff. And so I would love to show some of the stuff he's done next time once he's on.
And yeah, and he'll be
Yeah.
joining for future streams. So, we'll get to kind of meet the team and just kind of like, yeah, you learn more about the project. I think this is going to be a great way for people to also like almost like watch the journey as things progress. Like people who are here today, you guys will get to see everything progress as time goes on. So maybe, if we're doing these streams every month or whatever we decide in terms of intervals, like you'll just be like seeing the progress in real time.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think each episode we're going to have new developments. Like in the past week or two, we decided to switch like the focus of item recognition to photos for speed improvements. And so there's going to be a lot to share in the future. And let's see, Dizo asks, for now, is it only for iOS or both iOS and Android? Right now, it's in development for both. The way they're putting it together, as soon as it's ready, it'll be able to use. It'll be usable cross-platform. That's why we're adding just a little bit more time in the initial development because it'll save more time overall and it'll be a faster rollout of both. Yeah. And oh, and here we go. So let's see. Is this like the first screen, I think?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yep. All right. And feel free to just click through and show people. So this is, like the standard login screen. You can create a custom account. You can log in with Apple, Google. We might add some other ways for you to log in, and you'll be able to create an account that you can use, uh, on different devices. And over here, if you can see, it's it's like a list of items. At first, in the first one, you'll see that's pending return. That's items a person has like checked out. So if you ask the app for something and then it shows you where the stuff is, you just gotta click on it and it'll remember like, oh, you took this out for now. So it'll make a list of stuff to remind you later, like, hey, you have these out right now. You didn't put them back in that container or in a different container. So it's just to let you know, like, if you didn't put it back or if you did, and help you maybe better locate it later if somehow it's forgotten. And so the purple button is like more manual stuff where you can click through boxes and oh yeah, oh, here we go. Let's see. So right now we have a way to identify these sections. It's like the QR codes and or NFC tags. QR codes, you scan them, you scan them visually with your phone. And NFC, a near field communication tag, is like a physical stuff with some information in it. You don't have to use your camera for it. You can just tap it. So this could be if you just prefer to use it that way, or if you want something like in a dark closet, you don't want to have to keep shining a flashlight or turn on the light. You just tap it in the dark, it will work. And you have those choices, and you should have one that can do both. And these are for differentiating mostly containers, drawers, and such of the of a similar like appearance, but can also be used for all this different customizable stuff. You can even NFC tag on items themselves. You don't have to, but this is just if you for convenience, if you just want to tap the box, tap the thing without having to focus. And I think a lot of people would like to use it for that. And right here, oh yeah, that screen is if you click ask. So it will immediately prompt you. You can just talk to it like a person, like I'm looking for this. I might go out and do that. You can say it, or there's also a keyboard option, and you can just type in what you want to. And over here, like you want some shoes, it's winter, and you're looking to go out really quick. It will show you, oh, you have these kinds of shoes. These are probably good for colder weather or maybe a bit of snow out there. And you'll be able to select those and take them out and just go about your day. It's kind of about it's about like oh, we should show them the statistics later and go through that. It would definitely be like a huge time and energy saver. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
A, yeah, a quick segue into the statistics. Maybe if you guys want to see those.
Yeah, there's this. I feel like this would be a great page to show.
Yep. Okay, so these, according to lostings.com, their surveys, about 60% of people report being late for different things just because they can't find everything right at the moment, or even if they give themselves enough time, it delays them in getting out because they need those things. And let's see. So essentially, they calculated that the average person may spend 2.5 days a year just looking for things. The time wasted for trying to find stuff, well, that they need. And I mean, this doesn't sound like a huge amount, but you take that over an average lifespan about like 80 years, that could be roughly 200 days. Like I don't think that most people want to spend 200 days of their entire lives just looking for stuff and being like, I can't find this, I can't find that. 200 whole days, you could be doing other things. If you had an assistant, always locating stuff, being better organized. None of us can remember everything we have off the top of our heads. So unless you're like a really like a like talented person, that would be amazing. But most of us can't. And I think if this can do it for us, the amount of time it would save, let's see. Oh, and says Newgate Agency says how much is it
It'll
total
cost.
cost to make the website and the app? How much like how much to make? Like to how much did it cost us?
I guess
Or
that's what they're asking, but I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's something that like we have to reveal, but also you can if you want. But it's like we don't have to answer every single question because there is a level of I mean, how I don't know, like how much total cost to make. Maybe they're. I think it seems like they're probably just wondering, like, if they're making an app, how much it would cost them. I'm sure
Oh
it's
yeah.
probably it's pretty expensive to develop an app.
Oh yeah. I'd say if you're developing something and would like some information about getting started, that kind of stuff, then I think you could message me personally. I have an email somewhere, and I'll try to answer a few things without revealing too much. Like it can be very different, but I'll just say that we are working on this. We don't have, venture capital investments. We don't have anything like that. And we're currently, trying to use uh, resources and time most efficiently to create something beneficial that is, very reasonable. And let's
Yeah.
see. Oh, and I'll move back into the last few statistics. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Then more than 1 in 3 report never finding an item again. So it's like we've all lost something and we just never found it again. It went somewhere. And maybe this can't, maybe if it's truly MIA, then this wouldn't quite help. But I think for the majority of things, sometimes you can't find something and then you buy it again and then you find it again and now you have two of them. And that's often annoying. They estimate also that in the US alone, that the monetary value of lost items can be around like well into the billions. And it's and just to think about how much that costs individuals and households and how much better how much better it could be if they had that money for other things. That would be, yeah, that's something to consider. And let's see. And the reasons for, you know, sometimes not being able to find things, losing track of things, is that we're busy. We have lives to live. If we dedicated all of our time and energy, physical and mental, to just being super organized, some people really like that. Others, it can be exhausting, and that's why we can, like, even I can get very disorganized quite often. So to have this kind of tool that does it for you, that takes the weight off your shoulders for that, while you're able to do and think about other things, I hope that something like that could be really helpful for a lot of people. People like who have normal physical abilities, people who need some assistance in that, those who a few people who told me that they have ADHD said that they were really excited about this app coming out because it would just be so helpful in their daily lives. And let's see. And yeah, and I think that's in general for statistics. And if you guys want to look at any more, lostings.com, it's lostings.com, has many more statistics that you can look at about items and how we interact with them, different things like that. Oh, why does it say that? Oh my goodness, that's the first time.
I think maybe I typed it in wrong. Lostthings.com? Yeah, there's no way
Yeah,
because I
try.
visited it. I visited
Yeah,
it.
yeah, try going on the Google one. Hang on. I tried just typing lost things in the Google. Oh my goodness, this is a terrible look for us. Oh no.
Yeah, no, there's that's it's not a dangerous site. It's a common site. Like I've no lost things.
Hang on.
Okay, it's not coming up for some reason.
What the? Oh my goodness. Oh
There we
my
go.
goodness. The human. Oh, wait, do you see it?
Yep.
You know.
What is going on?
Oh, what the heck? Okay, but you know what? You know what? We will go on for you. We will go on for you guys. I
Yeah.
don't know what is going on because this has never happened before, and and we deeply apologize for this technical error.
If anyone says that streaming is not a dangerous game, I just had to risk going on to a very, very, as you can see, risky site for this. So you guys got to appreciate the sacrifices we make for the audience.
Yeah. Oh, the humanity.
But this site is definitely 100% safe. Like I visited, I've used it. Like we've, yeah. I mean, that's never. I'm sure if anyone in the chat wants to check the site out right now, it won't give that error. I think it's probably has something to do with the fact that I'm streaming, and you know what I mean. Like it knows that my computer's maybe is sharing the screen or something. I don't know.
Oh, let me check on my end actually.
Yeah, let me know if it. Yeah, because
Oh
I
no, it's on my end too. Oh goodness. Oh, okay, so oh maybe hopefully it's a temporary thing, and until then you don't have to worry about going on. We've gone on for you, and we can and you can and if you'd like to screenshot some of these too.
yeah, and I think maybe I guess they've been messing around with their domain name or something, and maybe that whatever the SSL, the secure thing that like makes it, you know what I mean? Because they don't have that HTTPS in front of their domain name. Oh, they do. So I don't know.
Hmm. It's just that okay. I'll just put that in my notes later. I have like more resources, like more official sites that cite this one. It's fine. It's fine. It's good to know at this point.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're just having some technical difficulties with their website. It happens like when you make a new website or like you switch to a new thing. Um, but yeah, there's maybe we can even pull up the uh 200 Days of Your Life Looking for Things article. Also good. Also good info here. Also very good info. Um,
The Keepin.
we mentioned a lot of the facts there. So, like from Lost Things. So, also a good source. This is all on the
Yep.
Keepin website.
Hmm. Yeah, and just know Associated Press is a very trusted news site. So when this was submitted, they were able to go onto the website and double check this kind of stuff, right? So this confirms that it was fine when we sent it to AP.
Yeah, it was fine when it was being fact checked. I think I even mentioned lostthings.com by link somewhere. Yep, right here. Only
Yeah.
lostthings.com. So, I mean, if it's good enough for them, it should be good enough for you, you know.
Yep, trust us. It's fine.
But yeah,
All right.
yeah. Should we go through more of the Figma, or
Oh yeah.
it's up to you if we
And
want to
so
go through all
yeah.
of it, or we can go through a little
Uh,
more.
just a little bit more, just to get them like a sense of how it looks, how it works, how intuitive it is. Yeah. Oh, this is the part I was talking about. It's like if you want to go hiking, you just it's like you're saying to a person, "Hey, I'm going hiking." It's your personal assistant. And they remind you of everything to bring and where it is. And one thing you can also do is like the app, like a person can learn about your preferences. Like say you have a very specific backpack. You have several backpacks that you can use for hiking, but one you always pick when you go out. It'll remember this. And so that every time when you say you're going hiking, it can put that to the very top of the list for you. And people can, use things more quickly that way.
I'm thinking like
Mhm.
it could go even like in the future. It could maybe do stuff like because I like when I'd be going to like work. When I'd be going to work very early, like I remember there would be even like patterns of like on Mondays through like Monday and Tuesday, the beginning of the week, the mornings would be a little different than the mornings, on like a Friday. So maybe you could even pick up
Mhm.
on like stuff like that, like how you like to get ready, what kind of stuff you like to wear, beginning of the week, end of the week, weekends.
Absolutely. It can pick up on these nuanced patterns that even maybe you're not fully aware of, but you're also able to tell it preferences. Like on this day, I prefer these, on that day, I prefer that. And everything you tell it, it will not forget, it can remember for you. And so that could be like that could be game changing. Oh, and is that, let's see, Kenny, right? Kenny asks, is it going to take up a lot of storage on the phone? Oh, absolutely not. Like I can see right now, it might look like, oh, each of these items could take me, they're wondering like, oh, would it take like a few megabytes of information for each item? Absolutely not. You could have tens or hundreds of thousands of different individual items on your phone. The amount of storage space it would take, it's not going to make a dent. when Rishi comes on, he can explain this further, but it's like it's so minute, it's negligible, so you never have to worry about that.
That's actually a really good question because I know everyone's concerned about phone storage and stuff. Like, I have like 5 gigabytes left on my phone, so like, I think
Ooh.
everyone these days is concerned about that. So
Mm.
that's a good question, honestly. It's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, we're incredibly mindful about it. So like they see a photo like that, they're wondering, oh like, oh, does it take up as much information as a single high-res iPhone photo with all this different information associated behind it? No, no, no. It's like a highly compressed thumbnail and then just like a little code for the information about the app when the app accesses it.
Yeah, yeah. So you should be. Everyone should be fine.
Mhm. And let's see, Newgate Agency asked, can we have multiple people living in one house using the same account? Absolutely. And this is might not be a feature we have in the very first rollout. It all depends. We're trying to get, we're trying to prioritize certain things, but there should be a screen for that. I'm not sure if it's before or after. You can invite people into your household so everyone is registered under the same household. You can everyone can keep track of items and who uses what when, so people can find out like where something is, like where something last was, that kind of stuff. And I think it would be incredibly useful for like, individual users, for people in a household, for businesses with multiple employees. It's like highly customizable in what the things can do.
Yeah, it's good that people are asking questions, and you know, that's good. I also see we got a few people subscribed, so that's very good. So I guess they're so that's good. You'll be notified. You'll get a notification next time we do this.
And thank you so much. And anytime you want to join in, or you can actually, if at any point you would like to send questions directly, feel free to email us at contact@keepin, just like on the screen, .ai. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah. Definitely ask questions and definitely follow us on all the socials. There's a great, frequently asked questions section on the site. Sign up just so you because it's very easy to miss it. We're going to be doing beta tests and stuff like that, and the link will be live for a little bit, and we'll be doing all these different opportunities and offers. We've already done a few beta tests, so just sign up, and then you're gonna get everything basically that we do. You're gonna get the updates. You're gonna get all the free PDFs, quizzes, resources that we provide. Um, Updates on when the Kickstarter is live. So it's just easier to stay in touch and stay in tune with what's going on with Keepin.
mhm. And should we show maybe a few more screens of the Figma if people want to see?
Yeah.
Yep. And so there's different ways to look at your items. You can browse like more manually. You can just or you can just talk to it, and it will do any of the browsing or sorting for you. As you can see here, you can add different tags to specific items. That's like different from sorting in the boxes. So you can see here, both these items are in box number one, so that's their physical location. But the tags are more like categorically sort them. One is for like I think these are both for gaming, but one item in the box could be for gaming, another could be for basketball, something like that, and you can and that like level of context of the item, regardless of location, can also help with like locating stuff for later. It's we spent so much time in the development of the UI and the UX design, trying to scrutinize, pick apart these tiny little nuanced ways that people might be able to use the app and to find like the best flow. And even then, we are still improving upon it. So when the beta is released, we will be happy to hear any feedback from people to continuously improve the user experience.
And the tags are very helpful because like for these controllers, like if you have like a video game controller, one that you use for your console or one that you use for your PC, you can just add these extra tags to differentiate and to make it more specific to your liking.
Hmm. Yep, any kind of custom tag, like even if there's actually, you don't have to put a tag in there to assign it, to assign ownership to people. Like in a household, you could say that that's Sarah's bag, that's Dave's hat, that kind of stuff. There will be a way later on to assign ownership from a custom drop down. But in the tags, you can assign things like occasions, events. You can tag like hiking, and if boots are tagged hiking, then these will be prioritized in the search results. If you need boots, if hiking boots, they won't be the only ones, but kind of like a human, it will kind of understand that these are more for those types of things specifically for you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Smart. Smart.
Yep. And the notification screen, so it can say, so right now, this is a lot of default text, just like placeholder text. Once we connect everything, we're just going to simply type in a little bit of information here and there, but it'll show you what items are out, what items are moved. It'll show like a record of that, and you can always check back. And let's see, so let's say this ukulele is out. Um, and you can click not now if you're still using it. You can return the item to the container, or you can just put it somewhere else. You can even remove it completely from the system. So, so all of the items can be like taken out of the system or put back in, however you choose. Like if you sell an item or donate it, give it to someone else, you can tell it that, and it will no longer be registered in your catalog.
This would be great for like even like a guitar shop or like a camera rental shop where they have people actually checking stuff out. Like even like maybe even like at a library, checking out books.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, I think when we were developing this system, we started to realize that it has a variety of potential applications that we are not fully aware of right now. And I think that's a good thing. People being able to use this for their own personal lives and figuring out how it can help them. We're very excited about that.
There's unlimited uses to it, and you can kind of use it for whatever you think you need the most in your life right now.
Hmm. And I guess, if you click through a few more screens, just user interface settings, different stuff like that, like a helpful tutorial at the beginning, so it'll guide you through the thing. Oh, and let's see. Oh, and don't worry about the prices thing. That is just a placeholder page. Those are not the prices. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that at a future date.
Yeah,
It's not gonna cost that much. It's not.
yeah. And the basic version will always be free. There will be paid
Mm-hmm.
versions for extra features, but you'll still be able to use it
Mm-hmm.
for free. The basic version.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there will always be a version that people can download, and there will be features that are available for free. And along with that, we will have, I think, about a week of a free trial that people can use. The free trial will, depending on what stage of development we're in, will have access to a certain amount of features, but you'll be able to fully access them for that set amount of time.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's good. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I feel like we got through a good amount of those, right? Um,
Yep.
I guess we can talk about the Apple AI, the recent updates, the recent changes that have happened with the Apple AI. We could react to that.
Hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. It's the part that was that the partnership with OpenAI?
I think let me open it up to be specific, but I think they're working on basically their own kind of AI chatbot that will be like a replacement for Siri. Like it will make Siri an AI. And I'm reading about it right now. I think they're using their own AI, but or were is it because I'm not entirely sure if they're using the OpenAI
Well, let's take a look at the article
framework.
then. I,
Y-
I think Rishi told me already that if we as soon as we launch this app, it'll be something that you can even use from the home screen. I'll have to consult him better about that. But with the integration of this into iOS, it's going to be even easier to use this and like I guess like cross-reference, use it integrated with other apps and stuff, use it with smart devices like I think we were talking about this earlier. You could basically integrate it with Alexa or the Apple HomePod and start to just kind of like shout out what you're looking for and without even pulling out your phone, and it can just kind of say your sunglasses are in the third box in your upstairs closet, and it'll just be such a human experience looking for things.
Yeah, that will be awesome, and that will save a lot of time. And it is confirmed. It's announced a partnership with ChatGPT, Open, the creator of OpenAI, to power the features. So it's saying although the partnership will likely give the company a much needed boost, Apple aligning itself with a company and a technology that have yet to win public trust, facing criticism for taking user inputs, may cause some challenges down the road. But it's apparently going to be a significantly smarter Siri. And they've emphasized Apple's very good with privacy, so I feel like this is good for AI as a whole. Like having someone like Apple come on board and partner with OpenAI just shows their trust in it, and I think they've usually been very good with privacy. Like there was that famous FBI case where like the FBI was trying to get Apple to unlock someone's phone, and they were like no. So I
Mm,
think they'll be pretty good with it.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I guess you can trust Apple more with security and privacy than a bunch of other things, and to have it, and we're going to have it. I think the first release for the beta test we're going to have on iOS, and then shortly after is going to follow with Android as well.
Okay. Yeah, so then on iOS, I think this will work greatly with this. Like using it, like you were saying that Rishi was mentioning potentially using it from like the home screen and the lock screen. Like it's showing kind of like an example of like it could even it can you can just ask Siri and potentially just you don't even really need to type anything in or use anything from you could just from the lock screen just be like, hey Siri, where's my anywhere in your house then, because most of the time people have their phone with them.
Mhm, absolutely. Like, I'm not even going to look at my phone right now. I just press and hold. And be like, hey Siri, what's the weather today? Yeah. And then let's see. Oh, and I have not turned on location services. That's my fault. But yeah, if you do, you can do that kind of stuff.
And then potentially you could even, if it's just stored on if it's on your phone, like the Keepin stuff, you could even do it while you're not at home. Like you could be like, hey, do I have something like this for when I do come home? Like just to know, do I need to get this?
Like you don't have to be anxious and constantly thinking about it while you're out for hours on end. Like when you're trying to do something fun and enjoy the moment, you just check on your phone, locate it, and be like, "Oh, I'll just grab it from there when I'm home." I don't even have to remember it right now. There's like it's the result in the chat stays there, so I can just even look that up later. What was I looking for? I don't even have to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's so many applications for it, and and with all this stuff, with also I saw that Apple is doing something with. Let me pull this up and try to see exactly what it is, but it could be could be good for the NFCs. Like I think they were saying they're doing something with the. Let me check. New
Ooh,
sauce.
some kind of NFC advancement. Ooh.
Yeah, it was Apple. The Apple new. Hmm. Well, I know they already have the NFC for obviously, but as because we've been using them. But it was something. Maybe it was something with Apple Pay. But I think it was something to do maybe with the phones tapping to each other to send money between two phones.
Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah, tapping the phones together. It could be like a transfer of items. Like if two people are using a Keepin, then you can be like, I'm giving this item to this other person, so they don't even have to scan, register, type in the description, all the tags. It'll do it for them. It'll just transfer all that metadata. And you could not only just one item, you could do a whole box. You could do any item with a certain tag, that kind of stuff. This and it's like I, and basically I'm thinking like one thing they could. This would be really good for shops for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's saying specifically, it's like as of now, it's just for transferring cash. So so June 12th, 2024, they announced iPhone users can transfer money by holding their phones together. So yeah, so you can transfer data through just a wireless tap. So I think that yeah, that would be pretty helpful
Mhm. Yeah.
if it could
Oh,
evolve.
and
Yeah, like transferring items. If it could evolve into some other kind of data being transferred, just tapping two phones securely. Hmm. It's interesting. I'm not sure exactly the use of that, but just something interesting that I saw. I don't know
mhm.
how it can be
Yeah.
used, but yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot of stuff. I don't know how much more we have on the to do list.
hmm. I guess if anyone has any like questions, we're happy to answer any questions about either this project, AI in general, or like heck, at this point, it's if you just want to watch a cute cat video, we're happy to add that in too. Always room for cats.
Yeah, just if anyone has any questions, let us know. I can show the merch actually
Oh yeah.
if we're fine with showing that. Show the merch to the people,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
so people can kind of get a glimpse of what it will look like in real life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everyone, Sam designed these really cool looking shirts, like that's like printed so well with like Keepin AI with the logo. It's going to be one of the Kickstarter rewards. Yeah,
To
and
keep or
look
not
at
to
that, it's
keep.
so nice. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
We have multiples. Let me stop share so you can see this fully. We have multiple different versions. Obviously, we have pink and white, just classic tee. Logo Keepin.ai. Nothing on the back, just a plain T-shirt. Great for the gym. The Some Bella Canvas T-shirts, very comfortable. Great for gym, great for outdoors, summertime. To keep or not to keep. All will be available in different colors. Obviously, I don't know how well you can see that in the camera, but it's got a little bit of orange. Keep an orange.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, and they just look so good. And oh, I'm wondering like right now, do you think we could also have a version which is like a woman's fit, Like a woman's fit
Yeah.
kind of
Oh
fitted?
yeah.
Yeah,
These
yeah, yeah.
we can print. So we'll definitely have different versions. So we can have women's version. We can have a hoodie with the same design printed on it. So we can do like men's hoodies, women's hoodies. We can do since it's summer, we could also do like tank tops. We can really print the design on whatever material, just any cotton, you know.
Oh, that's really awesome. And it's like, if at any point you guys, there's some kind of merch that's your favorite, like the hoodies, the tank tops, or mugs or something that you want us to print and custom make, let us know. Like we'd be happy to hear feedback and incorporate any of the items because these two shirts already look amazing, and it would be really cool to see what else we have for the merches. Oh, and I want to ask you guys about this. How would you like if we integrated NFC tags into the items themselves? Like that way, they would be using them with Keepin. Basically, when you do, it's already going to have a bunch of information filled out for you, maybe some special perks in the app related to this item, and it'll just be like a tap and go. You don't even have to do the scanning or the focusing of the item. Like in the dark or something, if you don't want to turn on the light, you just tap it and the item is registered. Tap, tap, you put it here, you put it there. Basically, what we can do, the NFC tags can be incorporated into a variety of things. I think the smallest NFC tags currently available, I'll see if I can get a hold of them, are just 3 millimeters across. You can put them in just the tiniest of places. I showed Sam earlier that they sell these buttons, like buttons you can sew into shirts with NFC tags integrated into them for scanning. They and basically they're machine washable. I'd say some NFC tags are heat resistant and they could be put in the dryer. We'll have to research that, but definitely machine washable, completely waterproof. They can be made like that. So if you're interested in that, you could put it in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm
And
seeing in the
Diesel really likes that. Yeah.
yeah, Dezox likes that. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments. Dezox was excited to show the merch. Yeah, looks like we got good feedback about that, and I was about to yeah the buttons would be awesome, and I'm thinking even like what if we could find some NFC tags that are maybe iron on, like they people could iron on to any T-shirt, like of their own, so that because I just remembered like such a weird random tangent thought, but at sleepaway camp, this kid, which I've never seen this before, but his mom ironed on little initials onto every single piece of his
Oh,
clothing so that he wouldn't lose it, or like I don't know. I've never seen this before in my life, but I still remember that. I was like, that must have first off, that must have taken a while to iron on. A couple minutes each. Like you have to hold it, heat press it, like every piece of clothing. But then I was like, it's kind of smart because like I did lose a lot of stuff there. So like I lost like half my socks. Like so it's like I feel like especially parents for their kid would definitely be interested in just like labeling all their stuff. So it's like everything's just in keep it.
absolutely. And I think it was actually really smart of her to iron it on because it's like if you think back like maybe a generation before, what her mom would have done is just like sew the name into all the clothes. Oh, that would have taken so much longer. So that was a good idea.
Yeah.
And with the ironing on, yes, I think that's possible if I can just do a bit of research into the heat resistant NFC tags. If depending on like maybe we can set the ironing temperature a bit lower, find one that's more heat resistant. It could be possible we could get that done. And also the buttons themselves, things that could be sewn on, things that could be stuck to clothes different ways, like pins and stuff that are hard to come off unless you manually remove them. Those could be different options.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like for suits especially, like the pins, like the lapel pins that people put on suits anyways, and we can make it look kind of like it blends in.
Mhm. Yep. And that way it's like even if their name isn't on it and they can't figure out whose it is, this is like a way more visually appealing way to tell people this belongs to so and so. Like they don't have to put their whole name across it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we can make it be part of the style, kind of like yeah. I'm thinking like those like Croc pins that everyone would put in their
Oh yeah,
Crocs, like
oh yeah.
have like different characters for some of them, so it can kind of work
Mm,
with people's outfits and stuff.
yeah, definitely. Make like whether it's a rose, whether it's a skull, any kind of preference that a person has, whatever their style is, we can put it in just pretty much anything.
Yeah, and maybe like do some collabs with like other like franchises, like sports teams, like that's for way down the line, but in the concept wise, like that could be anything.
Collectibles, and it's like already embedded in their NFC tags are really inexpensive to manufacture, so they could just easily put it in any of their collectibles. And when they do that, it and it's scanned, the information that provides, it can provide some exclusive content from the sports team, from the brand that you would not have access to otherwise unless you specifically have this item. Like have, so you could gift it as well. If like sometimes people are like, oh, if you buy this item, we'll email you some kind of code to access the stuff online. That can be kind of like tedious, and it's not as giftable. But if you hand the item to the person like right there and they can just tap with their phone, they get it all right there, right then, and it can always change hands. Like that content is directly tied to the item itself.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. Let me check the chat again. I just put in the beta test again, but yeah, no, nothing new. That would be awesome. Looks nice. Looks good. W sugar W. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. That's definitely an internet thing. W, just saying W for win.
Yeah. Oh, and if anyone else has any questions or comments, or oh, you're thinking about something that you like that that maybe NFC tags could be implemented in, and you have questions like how could I use that kind of stuff? We've been talking to different people who are very interested in how it can be used and giving them a bit of advice how they can do that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Any suggestions, guys? Any suggestions would be great. Um, wait, maybe I should. Yeah, I'll put the email. That keep in contact. You know.
Oh, and I'll pull the thing. I brought this to the event we were at yesterday, but basically, there is an NFC tag in this little thing right here. It's a little bag charm that I have. I put it on there, and when people want my contact info, I'm just like, here, just tap it with your phone. You'll have it right there, everything. And I can also wear it on my wrist like that. So essentially, an NFC tag is really small. Put it in anything, anywhere, and have fun with it.
Yeah, I have one actually that you gave me on the back of my phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How's it been? How's your experience of using it?
Oh, it works super easily. I found just a tip. The best is so that this part goes to like this part of the other person's phone. You know what I mean? Like instead of to the back. Like I found that it works the best if my circle kind of touches another phone like that. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
on that. I don't know, but that's a personal. I found that it works the best that way.
Oh, absolutely. And I will make a note for that. Put it in the instructions. Make sure it's at an angle. At an angle. Put it. Yeah.
Yeah, like and like when I've been scanning them, like for some reason I don't know, maybe it's my case or but it scans like here good. I don't know, top of the phone. Pretty, it works pretty well. Yeah, it's been good, and people are kind of like pleasantly surprised by it, and they kind of want to learn about it. You know, like they're like, "What is that? Oh, like how do I get that?" And it's like it starts a whole nother conversation that I think um, a lot of people at networking events might not know exactly what to say next. Like after getting a contact info for someone, like it's just kind of like, oh, okay, we exchange contact info, and now we walk away. But then people will be like, oh, what is that? And you can kind of just talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you can learn about their project more. They can learn about yours. It's a conversation. I can't remember what it's called, but it's some kind of word for a conversation starter. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking literally just conversation starter, but yeah, it's like a yeah, it's a talking point. It's a good because everyone's there to network, and if you have a tip for them on how to network easier, they're gonna remember that.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And you can be, it's like first impressions can be very important. So, like, if you come in there with this cool gadget you're sharing and showing with them, and and if you're willing to give some of them out too, it's up to you. But NFC tags, they can cost like 20 cents to make. So if you're at an event where you really want to make those connections, so just hand out a few of those. You can even try to program them right then and there if you download an app like NFC Tools, and you can like program it to link to their contact info. They will really remember you then if you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Oh
good
yeah.
way to stay
Oh
memorable.
yeah. Oh, Diesel. Diesel knows icebreaker. That's the word. Thank you, Diesel.
A good
Thank you.
icebreaker for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. They chat smart. On the
Hmm.
chat are smart. We have a smart audience. Um, And yeah, it's a great icebreaker. That's what I've kind of noticed is like, it's just like, yeah, it's a good way to kind of provide some value to someone else too. Like people want to learn something new. They want to, and it sets you aside for sure because people meet like 100 people at these networking events. So if you can be the one that gave them something practical that they end up using, for all their future networking events, they'll remember that. And every time they're using it, they're like, oh, this person gave it to me.
Yep. I'm making a note here. I'm just gonna buy a whole lot more. I'm gonna like send you some next time. We just gotta. This is how we're gonna roll next time.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. We should pass them out and out to everyone, really. And it's just, yeah, it's a good way to
Yeah.
make a lasting impression.
Just be like, oh, we don't have to program it for them, but just like, oh, hey, if you would like, I can program it right here for you. I think most would be like, oh yeah, oh.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great because it's just a simple app. If we could eventually make like Keepin branded ones, that would also be awesome. You know what I mean? Like with the little Keepin logo on it, like just so that that's because I feel like reusable merch, like goodies, like for example, like I think wallet holders. This is just a general example, not for us even specifically, but like things that you use over and over again that you get from brands, I think really make a lasting impression. Because like I got this phone stand from a veterinarian. It's this little plastic phone stand that just has their logo on it and super simple. It folds perfectly flat and it's like a little cheap plastic phone stand. But I've used it almost every day since then. And like every day I see their logo and I'm reminded of it. And it's kind of like ingrained in my head now. So it's
Yep.
like, it's
Just
a
like.
good way.
Yep, just like showing people, like being helpful in different aspects of their life, just giving them a little. Oh, I think this is like it's not like a lead magnet. It's just like but kind of like that, you know. It's like a physical version of the free stuff we're giving out, right? Like the booklets, the quizzes we're gonna give out, just like little free things, just little gifts.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we got through a lot of stuff. Is there other things that we wanted to talk about and mention, or do you think that we're kind of good because we've been going for now almost 3 hours? I feel like it would be fine if we were gonna wrap up, but I don't know. Do you I guess do you have anything that you think we should mention before we leave, or
I think we got to everything that's good right now. And the next time when Rishi is on, like be prepared. Be prepared. Bring your tech savvy people. He is going to be on it, giving us the lowdown of like all of the stuff going on in the back end, how things are working, what he's testing. Definitely stay tuned for that. But until then, I was wondering, does anyone have any questions, thoughts, opinions about certain things, like certain, like even like a gift you would like? Would you like a certain kind of booklet telling you about this or that organization practice? Are there merch ideas that you would want us to see, that you would want to see from us and for us to make? Anything at all? Open the floor for that in the last bit of the stream. Let's see.
yeah?
And Diesel, oh, Diesel, yeah, thank you, Diesel. And I'm glad we covered everything for you. And I think for this is the very first live stream I've ever done. How about you, Sam?
I've done a few for my business and stuff for my page, but yeah, I'm not super experienced with it, and I haven't done a lot on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I've only been a part of one, on someone else's page. Um, so that will definitely be new, and it's something that we're all gonna kind of I hope that it morphs over time. So like I hope by like if we have like the fifth or sixth one, if we make it to make it consistent, I hope by then we'll have a completely different format than where we just know like our audience wants to see this and this. So I think it will kind of like almost curate itself. Like kind of we will let it play out naturally and see how it goes, and like if people will also the more people see us, they'll figure out what do they want us to talk about because I'm sure right now since it's the first one that people are kind of taking things in and yeah, and we can kind of just see where it takes us. Thank you guys for introducing new ideas. I believe that was what it was meant introducing.
Yep.
But
And thank you for staying tuned and asking questions and just being part of the conversation. And as we go on, since this is the very first stream, it's very open-ended. We like to introduce like this or that, see how people like them, and we want to make this like a really fun and engaging show. You can tell us what you would like. You can share different things that you want everyone else in the stream to see, and we want to make it so that it's a fun afternoon every time you tune in.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of make it, yeah, and like make it like a Sunday fun day, kind of like we react to like decompress over the week, see what's going on in the world, and with Keepin.
Absolutely. All right. And I don't think
Let me.
anyone else has any questions. So thank you again for tuning in, and so glad to have hosted this very first stream for Keepin.ai, the little item organizing app that we're working on. And thanks for helping with the stream, Sam. It's like I would be too scared to get on camera alone.
No, no worries. Yeah, it's always it's. I feel like it flows better when you have two people. Also, like, I've tried doing some like news shows and news streams. For like when I would work at a news station by myself, and just talking for like an hour by yourself is a little weird. Something like you get kind of like just forget who you're talking to because like the audience isn't talking back as much. So it's like unless it's in the chat. So it's like yeah, I think it's easier and it flows better when there's two of us and we can kind of bounce ideas back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was not scary at all. It was a great experience, and I loved having everyone here. And hope you really like those whale videos. I'm gonna go watch a bit more of these after the stream.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are cool. I hope we show people some new stuff too. We'll exit we'll outro it out. We'll exit the stream by I'll throw that intro on again with the music so people can kind of just yeah, we'll kind of signify the end. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for everyone who watched, who came over. I'm not sure exactly who came over from which socials. Just I threw the link out everywhere on all my accounts, Keepin's accounts. So it's people from maybe people from not the AI or not the tech industry, but I'm glad we could maybe introduce them into the space. And yeah,
Absolutely. Come on, come on. And thank you so much, guys. I hope the rest of your day is wonderful, and also the rest of the week. And for those who celebrate the 4th of July, the fireworks and barbecue are coming out on Thursday. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
true, true. I completely blanked, and losing track of time. It's 4th of July coming up, so I hope everyone has a good 4th of July and stay safe.
Yeah. Have a good one, and I hope like all the best for you this week and the fun festive activities. All right.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one, guys.